Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. It happens. All right. I'm the first to admit it. All right. Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 46, coming to you from the desolate wasteland of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're recording on May 19th, and I am your host, Elric Edge. With me today are...
Your host, Bill Costello, and...
Ryan Taylor.
How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Good to be back.
Yeah, that 3-hour drive was delightful.
Drove all the way down here for a can of spray paint.
Yeah, I did. And probably some Oryx, but we'll get to that.
Oh, man. So good. So on today's show, more of the same, because you're not tired of that. We're going to be talking about some info that's dropped for AOS 2.0. Did they confirm that it's actually... Yeah, it's the new edition.
Yeah, it's the new edition.
Okay, so yeah.
We're going to let you know how they listened to last week's
directly
podcast
to us.
And then said, here's the new version.
Ripped off all of our great ideas. And then did
now
not credit us whatsoever. So
we will be waiting for the royalty checks whenever you guys get
or
around.
Models.
I mean, no pressure.
You
whenever you guys get around
cash
to it.
or plastic.
That's
We're
right.
Good.
Credit's good.
And then some other stuff. Listen and find out.
Yeah. But before we turn into the real show, want to do a couple of things. Want to send a shout out to some patrons.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Samuel Pointer. Thank you, sir. Pirate Bear Games, which I think is a really cool name. So
I'm imagining a pirate bear.
It'd be kind of cool.
What kind of animal would a bear have on its shoulder? Still the bird?
Yeah, it could still be a parrot. Why not?
I don't know. It could be like a squirrel.
That's true. A flying squirrel. Hey.
A rabid badger.
A honey badger. Honey badger, don't care.
Badger? Oh, my God. All right.
I also want to shout out Tim Miller, Daniel Street, some woman, I don't know, Renee Edge. I don't know. She has the same name as you. That's weird.
Same name as me?
Yeah.
My name's Renee.
Well, same last name.
She has the same name as my wife.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. So she does listen to the show, so you might want to back it down a notch.
Or it's a stalker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a fake. I love it.
I'm sorry. I already married one of my stalkers. So.
And last but not least, by any means, some guy named Mark Mitzman.
Who's that?
He's some bloke.
Some bloke.
Sorry.
Good old Mitzi.
I do want to shout out Mitzi and Jimbo show on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
If you guys haven't been watching it, they're really putting a lot of effort into it. It's a really good show on YouTube. Check it out. If you like watching people that are enthusiastic about the hobby and really, really know how to put on a good show, definitely check it out because it is fun. It's a fun thing to have on when you're doing stuff.
Yeah, they're like into the swing of it now.
Yeah.
Like they have a format that they're working with and stuff. So, it's like it's a full-on show.
They are professionals.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
They just need more posters in the background.
Yeah. So those are our Patreons. Now, one thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to pop this on Eric. He doesn't know about this.
Uh-oh.
But I do want to throw a shout out to another podcast that I just discovered not too long ago. It's called Cubic Shenanigans.
Okay.
And they're actually pretty darn good. They're up in Milwaukee, so they hate ITC.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
It's Algonquin for the good land.
Yeah, see. But it's a pretty darn good show. They put on it's a GW, not specifically AOS or anything. But they do really good, thoughtful reviews of stuff. They're way more thoughtful than us. Anybody is.
All right.
So, but it's a good show. So check them out. Cubic Shenanigans. And no, they're not paying any. They don't even know I'm doing this. So I haven't reached out to them at all. So
cool.
All right, we're ready to head into the short New Dawn?
Compared to last week's?
Yeah. Let's do that.
The Realm of the New Dawn,
where we're going to talk about new releases and news from Games Workshop. It's totally lit, fam.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we're going to punk out.
Good stuff.
It's for all the millennials out there listening. They know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first up for New Dawn stuff is, if you haven't been paying attention, a fact came out for Shadespire.
Oh, that's right.
That-
And some beta rules.
Yeah, well, the beta rule is the Cataphrane change for Shadespire. So if you're getting owned by somebody who's playing a Cataphrane list, a relic list, you can now pop the new FAQ beta rule thing on them and say, girlfriend. So,
But you have to say it just like that.
Yeah,
I
you
think
have
that's
to.
also part of the rule.
It is. It's written in there. Girlfriend.
Yeah.
So
I think you get like extra points if you snap your fingers in a Z shape.
Yes.
And throw a little neck action in.
you got it,
It's
girl.
worth 2 glory.
It's lit, fam.
Yeah.
So no, really, the nerf, the change, whatever you want to call it, it's going to cost you 2 glory points now to bring out a Cataphrane relic instead of just 1, which I think it's a good change. I think because if you're getting owned by Cataphrane lists, you'll love that. Next,
Yeah. So Harlequins for 40K. Did you see the video? The mime?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if they put it up on the straight 40K video or channel. I saw it linked from some Japanese. I don't know if it's like a 40K Japanese specific page. But yeah, so it's a guy dressed up like a jester with mime paint on, and he's acting like he's opening the book, and then he gives like an evil cackle as he reads the rules and stuff. And then Duncan comes on, and the mime is acting like he's painting straight out of a pot. And so Duncan does, he puts up, 2 fingers, and he does like a thin line, and he grabs his jacket, his
Two
coat,
thin coats.
2 thin coats, and then he smiles and walks off, and he's got, the mime face paint on and everything.
Oh,
too.
my
Yeah, it's
God.
pretty good.
I got to see this.
Harlequins and Gene Stealer cults have to be the 2 armies for 40K that I could not care less about. But I know that Harlequins are super popular for some people. So, cool. Good for them. I mean,
And what they're going to bring to Eldar is going to be
yeah,
wow.
I'm sure they'll have some crazy stuff in there. I have not watched any of the Codex review videos yet, but I will.
They're pretty. They're pretty boss. They
Yeah.
are interesting to say the least. I think.
Nice. Just a minute ago, I saw a meme that GW put out. Somebody was asking about orcs, the Orc Codex.
Oh no.
And they actually replied in meme form of what if I told you that the Orc Codex is actually worth waiting for.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh my God.
I would say liar.
They couldn't go much lower with how the orcs have been treated so far. So I'm super excited. Hashtag not a 40K podcast.
That's right. But we're a GW podcast.
Yeah, we love all things GW.
Yeah, we're fanboys.
You got on here the Webway Gate. We talked about that last episode, didn't
Yeah,
we?
it's up for pre-order today.
Gorgeous piece of kit.
Yeah, and it's super not expensive. I think it comes in at
40
$40 or something.
Yeah, 35.
There's not a lot of plastic in there.
No,
but
it's not
huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's
But
basically probably 4 thin pieces, 2 pieces you glue together for each side. I would imagine maybe a base or something. I don't know, but
I just can't wait to see what people are going to do with it. Terrain and diorama wise. It's
oh
gonna
yeah,
be crazy.
yeah, definitely could be a webway or not a webway, a portal.
Realm Gate
portal. Yeah,
Yep. I'm just hoping that the arms of it are thick enough to actually put decent sized LEDs in, so that you can have it lit and doing the
I'm sure
doing the little flashy light thing.
So, do we want to recap Warhammer Fest a little bit? I can't remember if we talked about it last show.
I can't remember spending a lot of time on it. So it was a pretty big show.
Yeah.
Really big show.
Since then, the big announcements have been new Stormcast and new Night Haunts.
Yep.
Which I think we talked about. I don't know. It's all
I don't think
blur.
we did. Actually, I don't think we did. I don't think we dwelt on it a lot.
Okay. So, thoughts?
There's a new version of AOS coming out.
Yeah.
That's why I rage quit AOS.
Yeah. Yeah, well, then we haven't talked about it.
No.
Because last episode we solved all their problems.
That's
for
right.
them.
We fixed everything.
Yeah,
God.
your
And then
episode
now all of a
last
sudden I'm rage quitting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to lay off the wine coolers.
Yeah, in a big way. Sigmar.
Yeah. So let's talk about the 2 armies, and then we'll talk about AOS 2.0 and
Sure.
stuff. Do we want to do that now, or do we want to?
Let's save it for lore when we talk
right,
about
we'll
all
talk
that stuff
about
coming up.
lore.
The only other thing in The new Dawn that I can think of is not Warhammer Heroes, Space Marine Heroes for all our Japanese listeners.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the second group of that got announced. It looks like it's going to be Terminators this time.
Blood Angel, specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the sprue's red. Yeah.
Well, I think they have Blood Angel iconography on them.
Nice.
Yeah,
So, for all those listeners out there in Japan.
Yeah, or
Well done.
elsewhere that will spend an arm and a leg to have it imported. Deathwing Advanced version for the all for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. No, not Xbox One.
No.
For PS4 and PC, it'll come out on the 22nd.
Yay!
So next Tuesday or something like that. I will be buying that. If you are also a PlayStation user, you can hit me up on Twitter with your handle, and we can, purge the Xenos together.
Is it online multiplayer?
Yes.
Oh, maybe I'll pick one up.
What, a PlayStation?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can be with the cool kids like the rest of us playing Overwatch?
It's mainly so I can beat my nephew at FIFA. But, yeah,
Yeah.
Was that it for New Dawn?
I believe so.
that's it.
Let's cut it.
So- Oh, actually.
But no.
We get so this has been something stirring around. So Forge World did a huge thing on Last Chance to Buy, and it was a whole bunch. It was basically all 18 legions, all their special iconography and everything like that. And so people were flipping out, saying like, "Is Horus Heresy dead? Is Forge World going under?" Blah. And yeah, Forge World actually came out and said, we're not the leading experts in the Horus Heresy, except that we are, and we make all the stuff for it, and no, it's not going anywhere, so calm down. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that blurb.
Well, you know what I've always said. GW's on the edge. They're going bankrupt within the next 6 months, man. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Releasing Sisters of Silence, just trying to get female models out there as a last dying gasp for the company. Because they just turned in their best year ever.
Forge World ain't going anywhere. None of that stuff.
What it says to me is they might be actually retooling a lot of that stuff, and they're emptying the warehouse of the old stuff, and they might actually be doing newer molds or.
Well, if I had to make a guess, and I don't know if this has been clarified by Forge World specifically yet, because Forge World is starting to do all the specialist games.
Right.
Yeah, and 30K is just so popular. I'm wondering if Games Workshop itself is
pulling that in.
Yeah, and they're going to run with that because Forge World has been picking up more of The Hobbit.
Yeah, they've been picking up The Hobbit
so I'm
and the
wondering
box games.
If GW will run with 40K AOS and 30K, and then Forge World will just run with all the specialist games. They'll still make some bits for Horus Heresy, just like they make bits for AOS and 40K and stuff. But as far as like this tiny studio of a handful of guys trying to run one of the most successful games that GW's done as a whole and still make bits, because they haven't really done much for anything else other than 30K, because all their resources
they haven't been able to.
So I'm wondering if Games Workshop was like, well, hold on, let us mass produce the basic stuff for this game.
Yeah.
Make it more accessible because it's so popular, and then you guys can still do your Primarchs, you can still do special characters,
right?
Stuff like that. I'm wondering if that's maybe the direction they're going. I don't know.
It's kind of, it's kind of what we've surmised all along. Is they have to, and especially all the upgrade packs, the shoulder pads, the torsos, and all that stuff. GW already does a lot of that stuff in plastic already with their upgrade kits.
Right.
So anyway, I don't think it'll take them that long to tool up, some store shelving for, just upgrade kits. And honestly, if you had plastic doors for Land Raiders, shoulder pads for all the different, that would be, hell, they'd be bringing back like the old Bits store,
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't that be
the
nice?
good old days. And, there's a market for it. Obviously, the stuff is moving.
They could also just be trying to reduce the amount of SKUs they have, so bundling it together.
Yeah.
As you say, they're trying to support a fully fledged game with 10 guys or whatever.
Yeah, they're a small team, man.
So handpicking everything from here's a shoulder pad, here's a gun, here's that, rather than just going, here's your Mark IV, Alpha Legion set. Boom. That's where you might see it.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll be bringing back their sweet decal sheets.
Oh, man.
That would be nice.
Decals, yeah.
Yeah.
That's no?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Forge World used to do these huge decal sheets that were for the Horus Heresy and stuff. So, like the Imperial Fist one had like a lot of the precursor Black Templar icons on there, but a lot of the sweet Templar or Imperial Fist bits. There's like Ultramarine ones, and rather than being like the little ones that you get if you buy like a tactical squad, these had, super tiny ones that went on knee pads, all to shoulder pads, to huge ones that would go on the front of like those massive tanks they make and stuff. So
the Bane blades.
Just fantastic stuff. And they were huge, and they only cost like $16 or something.
Yeah, they were like, at one point they were £850.
Nice.
Yeah, so maybe they'll go back to, maybe that's easier for them to do. I don't know.
I hope so.
Certainly would take up less space, I would think.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll
those
see.
Forge World decals are the bomb.
Yeah. All right.
Let's call it over.
The realm of creation.
Where we're not going to talk to Elric at all because I've shut his mic off.
Did you?
Yeah. So
If I talk really loud, you can hear me on yours.
I'm picking up you on my mic, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, we're going to talk about the stuff we've built and painted and done. And who wants to start? Have you done stuff, Ryan?
I have done nothing.
Oh, right.
That's not true. I bought stuff.
Oh, yeah? What'd you buy? What'd you buy, buddy? More chaos, right?
Bunch of chaos.
Because that's what you finally settled on,
Yeah.
is
settled.
doing a chaos army for Colorado Clan Carnage
Yep.
with Archeon and
Yep.
some other stuff. Zinch, because you can't actually challenge yourself to play.
Corn.
Really?
I'm looking at. Yeah.
So proud of you.
Are you going to go with double Archeon?
I'm trying to go with double Archeon. I think I can get away with it because no one will really know whether or not the list is legal. So I'm pretty sure I can run with them. Double Archeon, and then because then Archeon can use his command ability to make the other Archeon use his command ability to make Archeon use his command ability. That hero phase is taking forever.
Yeah.
That's build play.
It's an hour and a half.
And then you can play Randall with his KO and you'll
Still win.
Or play Randall's double slant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think he's taking KO.
Yeah, he's taking KO. He wants to lose with style.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of chaos, Zinch and Corn,
Okay.
and then there's a bunch of Iron Jaws at the local store
Yeah.
because you let me play at Randy Fest the Iron Jaws.
Yeah.
Which was a mistake because I had so much fun playing them.
Yeah.
I can't play them at Clan Carnage because Andrew's on the team and he's playing them. So,
Oh, yeah.
so I will be going with Chaos for that. But then after that, we might see a new Mega Boss show up.
Oh, yeah.
So I can be the third best Iron Jaws player.
It's not that hard.
I'm not including you in that.
I know you're not.
Scott and Andrew.
Wow, that's gotta hurt.
Whatever.
Hey, he's the only person that I've seen in our group win an event with Iron Jaws.
Yep.
So,
Right.
That's right.
That's right. It was your event. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's why I held
I
an
also
event
tabled
yesterday.
Zinch with him.
Nice. Well, that's
Yeah,
right. You did,
narrative
didn't you?
event.
Yeah. Good times.
So yeah, other than buying stuff, I've been on vacation for a little bit.
Oh
of
yeah,
time.
you just got back from the land of Scott,
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. The motherland
the motherland,
was great.
with your sheep with antennas, whatever it was that I said.
Sheep with it, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, to get our Wi-Fi.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Thanks.
So what'd you do, Alec?
I came over here and you showed me how to use an airbrush, how to use my airbrush.
Yeah.
Or just airbrushing in general, which was awesome because hopefully that will make things easier. And then I attempted to paint a skeleton in the scheme that I was hoping to get down, but it didn't quite work out. I'm trying to paint a death army similar to how the skulls and whatnot are on a Shigarath, Manfred's mount. So if you go to the GW website and you look at Manfred and you look at his mount, the skulls and everything are glowing like they're embers, like they're coals and stuff. And I'm trying to replicate that across a death army so I could say they're from the realm of fire. I think it's just a different enough look from the standard like bone, dry brush, washed, stereotypical death, which is fine. You know, it looks good. I just wanted something a little different. I had originally also thought about doing a like an ice blue type effect.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, well, who knows? I may go with that because
They're coming out with that paint for, the spectral paints.
yeah, that's
So-
like bright green,
Yeah, it's for their in-house theme.
right?
They've
So-
got a blue one as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they've got a green one and a blue one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll look into that because this flaming skeleton thing did not quite turn out the way I wanted.
I think if you hit it with like a dark brown or a black
Dry brush,
heavy dry brush to knock some of that red back a little bit, you'll get that burnt look,
maybe.
that embery look.
I'm going to test it on a couple more, and then I want to test it on a spirit host
Yeah.
because I know it can be done because that freaking burning skull thing for the new magic expansion that
man,
comes
yeah.
out. It looks so gorgeous. Oh my God, that looks so good. And I know that obviously I can't get to that effect anytime soon, but I know it can be done. The look that I want can be replicated.
Right.
So I just have to see if it's something that I can achieve efficiently. Through
for
the
a
amount of time
full-scale
that I have left,
army.
which means I might have to paint in a gash just to knock out that many points from the list. But we'll see. I'm gonna try it a couple more times. I know I got Frank from We Slay Dragons kind of giving me some advice and stuff too. He does a painting commission, and his stuff looks fantastic. It's a very specific style.
Yeah.
He likes to do very gritty, grimdark type of effects. So we'll see. If that doesn't work, maybe I'll try the blue. I'll find something.
Oh, yeah.
If I have to paint it all, prime it all, Xandri dust, wash it with Nuln Oil, and then give it a quick dry brush, so be it. But I'll have a painted Death Army for
There you go.
Colorado Clan Carnage one way or another. And you, Bill?
Well, I started the third Great Unclean one. I had to go to the store today and pick up some dry brushing stuff. So
Nice.
he's still there. And 10 Plague Bearers, a Beast of Nurgle, all getting ready to jump into the army list.
Cool.
So I think I am going to go with a Thricefold Befoulment for Clan Carnage.
Every time I see that stupid model,
It is.
it's so fantastic. Whoever, I don't know who designed that Great Unclean one, but kudos, man. Like,
Yeah, they were.
Well done.
it is
Yeah.
just, it's so good.
It's just the right sick and it's just the right cool.
Yeah.
So
I really don't get down on Nurgle, but damn, that model is
just
perfect.
did a
So-
really great job with it. And I'm liking the Beast of Nurgle too. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to
Well,
paint.
everything for
So,
that line.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
It
a
is.
time to be alive.
It's
for
all
Nurgle.
very cool.
So,
And I also base coated the whole Star Wars Legion set.
the base box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it. I guess I had the airbrush out and
Well,
know.
you gotta change it up, and
yeah,
it's
I need
something we need to try because it's Star Wars and it looks cool on the
Yeah,
table.
and it plays very, very quickly and
Yeah.
simply. So
I've always wanted to run units of stormtroopers.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
we'll try it.
yeah, but I think that's really about it. I haven't made any headway on the terrain, like I said, but I'll be working on that shortly. So
Well, yeah, priority one is CCC list.
yeah, I got to get the army done. So that's about it for creation. Stay tuned to the Tale of Four Warlords site.
Yeah.
The link will be in the show notes. I'm going to be putting up some updates tonight or tomorrow because we did the third campaign turn last weekend and generated a bunch of battle reports. And I'm starting to get some of the origin stories filter in. So I've got to just reformat those and toss them up on the website. And
I gotta send you mine.
yeah, most everybody has sent in, just something. They give an idea of what they're looking at and their backstory. So it's a good start. So it'll be out there shortly, I hope.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to Realm of Battle.
The Realm of Battle.
Where we're gonna talk about games. Have we played games?
I have.
Oh, cool. All right, because I haven't.
I played Battle Sheep in Scotland, but other than that,
It's a Scottish game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I actually haven't played many games of AOS, in fact, none. But I have played a huge number of Shadespire games.
No, nobody cares about that.
A
The realm
stop
of lore.
it.
Oh.
You are uninvited, mister.
Yeah.
You are not lit, fam.
God.
Yeah.
That's probably how it sounds to my daughter when I say it.
Probably. So, we're not cool anymore.
Yeah. All right. Tell
Ever
us
were.
about your shade
I'm not going to bore you with it, but
shadow
gosh,
fire.
now that you took
whatever.
all the fun out of the whole
I'm
thing
sorry.
for me. This was
No,
my,
please,
my
Bill.
one thing.
I would love to hear you talk about
No.
Shadespire. I have not tried it, But I hear it's fantastic, so I'm going to live vicariously through you for the next 5 to 10 minutes as you tell us about these wonderful games of Shadespire you played.
Wow, you suck up well.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, played a whole bunch of games of Shadespire. A person that I know discovered the game, actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I picked up one of those games with like the Plastic Army Men that you play all the time."
Nice.
I'm like, "Yeah, great. Way to
Right.
minimize me. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you." But yeah, actually, he was really super impressed. He bought Shadespire box just on a lark. He got completely engrossed in it. He was like, "This is so much fun."
Nice.
So yeah, we started playing. I was telling Ryan earlier, our first game, I was teaching him the game, and he had misread the turn order. He thought it went a different way. So corrected him on that, and he's like, "Wow, this plays way better." Yeah, they intended it this way.
Yeah.
We played like the first, I'd say 5 games or so. And, full games with 3 rounds each. And we played with just the core box. And then the next day I brought a set. I brought the Farstriders from the very latest one, the ones with the ranged Stormcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And a slightly more tuned deck to help them. And I just obliterated his Chaos guys. He was like, "Oh my God." So then the very next day he comes in with one of every box of the expansion. He's like, "Okay, so which one of these do you think I should play?"
He's done playing around. Well, I mean, it's a good call because it gets you all the cards.
Well, and that's what I told him. We were already talking about it. You need a full set of cards in order to have all the options. And, I even showed him where you can get the net lists and stuff. And I said, if you want to play one of these, lists on the GW site, feel free. Please, if you want to have, if you think one of them captures. But like I told him, those lists are designed by guys, and the list is one thing. You have to know how they play it.
Yeah.
As Shadespire is not one of those things where you can just download a net list and go, "Oh, this is pretty good." If you don't know how it was intended to be used and how it plays, it's of no value to you.
There's no change host in
No,
Shadespire?
there's no change host. Yeah. Weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet. Yeah.
Yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Zinch will get
There
a
were
box here
Cataphrane
real
relics.
quick.
So. But yeah, we've just been having an absolute blast playing that game. The new Farstriders they're overpowered by any means, but they have some real shenanigans, having the ability to do melee and shooting. But again, it's a Stormcast warband, so you've only got 3 guys. And the way they inspire is to simply be in your opponent's territory. So all they have to do is move. But of course, that exposes them to getting their faces pushed in by, I don't know, half a dozen orcs or a couple of skeletons or something. So they're tricky to play. But having those ranged, having that nice 3 range, and there's one card that allows you to provide support to a fighter that you're not adjacent to, as long as you have a bow, or a ranged weapon. So, yeah, there's some really neat tricks with them.
Cool.
Been playing the heck out of Shadespire and having a grand old time. But rather than me go on and on and on and on about this, do we want to mention anything about the London GT going on right now?
So, yeah, the London GT is happening this weekend.
Biggest event in at least London. I think they said Europe.
It might very well be. I don't know the exact numbers. I've heard over 300. I've heard over 500. And that's just for the 40K
For the
side.
40K side.
Something like 88 players for
Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar. I don't remember exactly. So
the London GT guys have been kind of impacted by the royal wedding, because I guess the all the food trucks that were supposed to be out there all decided that I could serve 200 people here or 10,000 people over there at the wedding, so they all beat feet for the wedding. Yeah, I'm not sure that's that's hearsay. So
there has been various bits of information coming out. Not all are good, but so we've seen pictures of the terrain. Yeah, and it's a bit rough. And I don't know. I had an idea driving over here, and I want to throw it out there, and the British bros can correct me if this is viable or not. I know space is a valuable thing in the UK, because the UK is like, I don't know, the size of Delaware or something like that.
Kind of an island thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're from
the
there.
UK guy is like shaking his head.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it's smaller than the state of New Mexico.
Well, everything's smaller than the state of New Mexico except Texas, right?
Well, New Mexico is only the 5th largest state.
Yeah.
There's a few more bigger than
Mexico.
This. Yeah, Mexico's barely bigger than. Anyways, so how viable would it be if a handful of TOs got together, like bigger TOs that consistently run events, and they rent a storage area somewhere centralized. It doesn't have to be in London or something.
Yeah.
It could be, I'm sure there's plenty of podunk towns in England as well where space is a little cheaper. And they just store all their terrain there. And then you rent a truck to pick it up and take it to events as the events happen. That's what they do in Las Vegas for the LVO. They just put
they put everything there in a
all the
warehouse.
terrain in one warehouse. And then when the LVO rolls around, they get a truck and they ship it back over to the hotel, the convention area, and set it all up. Yep. And that's for once a year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they clear enough cash to pay for it, but if you're doing that for multiple events, I don't understand why you couldn't just do that. And that way you guarantee that you always have a set level of terrain for all these events over there. All the mats could be stored there, all the terrain.
Yeah, the only thing you'd have to do is deconflict your dates, make sure you're not having...
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is if it's you, obviously it'd have to be people you really trust, but if it's like you and 3 other big TOs and you're just splitting the storage cost of all this, obviously you're not going to set up your events on the same days because you're wanting to go to each other's events and stuff. And again, I mean, if you're centralized somewhere in England, it can't take you more than like 3 or 4 hours to get somewhere.
Yeah, that place Camelot is like right in the center, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's the difference, though, is, and I even noticed it when I was on vacation, is whilst things may be really close, driving that hour is horrific.
Yeah.
Compared to here, where you go on a road, you fall asleep, and then you show up in your destination because the road's straight.
Yeah, so I've heard that there's not like exactly interstates and stuff.
And there's more ways and things like that, but I think, when you're looking at the people in the UK, they're looking at a 3-hour drive going, crap, I'm going to do a 3-hour drive.
Right.
As opposed to here where it's, I've come down to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And buy a paint.
Yeah.
It's,
that's a well spent 3 hour or 6 hours since you have to drive back.
Yeah. So it's not, I think the logistics of that would potentially not work, but it depends where it would be as well.
Yeah.
I think you can maybe have 2 or 3 almost
of terrain stuff. Yeah.
And if you do a big one, then you have to go and collect from all of them, but you could have them dotted around.
Well, London GT and South Coast could potentially get together because, they're close. Maybe it's not
I don't know.
everybody, but...
Because it's something that always comes up. Like, you get some events that have absolutely stellar terrain and tables and stuff, and then you get some events that it's like,
needed more.
It's just an idea. You guys could let me know if it sounds right or if I just don't understand. I'll be the first to admit, I don't understand. Because, England is smaller than New Mexico, but New Mexico has interstates and
we're crisscrossed by huge, good roads.
And also the entire population of New Mexico could probably fit in one city block in London. Yeah. So that probably makes a difference.
I know when I used to live in Mildenhall, it was an event to drive down to London. It was an event.
Yeah.
So, and most of the times we didn't even drive anywhere near London. We would go to like Essex or something and then take the train in.
Well, some of the events do over there, right, is bring 3 pieces of terrain.
The players do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, though, with Age of Sigmar, you almost have to up that.
Yeah, each person brings like 6 pieces.
Yeah, 6 pieces each, but I don't know how viable that is when you've got
when you're already transporting
500 people.
Well, and I've heard a lot of people complain about that, saying like it's already a pain in the ass because again, you're generally using public transport to get around. So you're trying to carry your army around on a train or a bus or whatever, and then throwing 6 pieces of terrain on top of that.
Yeah, it's
and
terrain is generally bigger and bulkier and
and potentially more fragile too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. It happens.
All
right, I'm the first to admit it. All right.
That's staying in.
That same bait should be used all the time.
Yes, it will be.
Oh, my God.
I'm popping that one. That one's going to be the new intro to the show. I don't know what I'm talking about. I admit it.
Welcome.
All right, let's move on. We have beat up battle. So good luck to you guys out at the London GT. I hope you're having a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
And all our best to Prince Charming and Princess Markles.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
God save the Queen.
Who?
The Queen.
The Realm of Lore.
Where we're going to talk about how Games Workshop stole all of our ideas from the last show to make a new game.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not that big. In our defense, AOS 2.0 has been announced, and they have started the hype train on it, and they've released some information, and we're going to try desperately to stay away from speculation about things that we don't know. I know one of the things that had me laughing my fool head off this week was people who were raging about the new rules already without seeing any of them. Right. And I'm just like, oh God. But then you back up through that person's history and you find out that they've been anti everything. So they're just haters. Yeah. So I dropped them quickly, which goes back to our episode on social media. When you find stuff you don't want to hear, just drop them.
Yep.
So, but anyhow, we have heard.
It's just echo chamber. You got to keep them in there to keep you grounded.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you can defend how good AOS is to them. So you can waste countless hours on social media.
That's also a good plan.
Like social media 22, as you're saying, Bill.
So what do we know about AOS 2.0?
Everything. We literally wrote it last week.
Well, that's a good point. So we're pretty much done here.
Yeah.
Just listen to the last episode and you got it. You're in this game. So what do we know about AOS 2.0 that we didn't write?
So day one, the first thing they talked about was the turn priority.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Not quite what I was hoping for. But again, we don't know everything that's set in stone. So the only change they've made is that the person who won the priority before, if both players roll a double, that winner gets to dictate who wins that die roll.
Right.
Instead of just continuing a roll off. It's the only change they announced. So I know we were kind of hoping that
the automatic first turn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the one drop.
Yeah, the one drop.
Well, I don't think they've actually explained how that's going to work yet. This seemed to be very much on the turns as they go through the game.
Right.
Yeah.
There was nothing there to do with, hey, if you deploy first, you get anything on there. It does give the person who took the first turn in the battle round a 56.7% chance of winning the roll off, which is 7+ on 2 dice, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's above 50-50. So it might give you the opportunity to mitigate that double turn.
Yeah, maybe something to take into account when you're building a list. If I deploy first, dictate who gets that first turn, it'll give me a high percentage of continuing to dictate it through to the rest of the game.
Right.
It also stops you or puts less chance on you being able to take that second turn in the first battle round and going, okay, I've got a good chance of getting the double here as well. So it's a little change, but I think it's a change that will definitely have an impact. The amount of times that I've rolled 4 or 5 doubles before, just mountain tension,
it's crazy
on there. It will speed up the game as well. They did mention in that article as well that there would be something for going second.
Yeah,
they just didn't want to announce it yet.
Yeah.
So
there's still a lot more to come out for all that stuff. So let's see, day 2.
So it was turn priority on the 16th. Then there was faction focuses.
Yeah.
They come through, but we may want to touch on them separately.
Yeah.
More faction focuses. On the 17th, it was Martin Moran goes to the Grand Tournament, Part 2, instead of any rules. And then it was command abilities.
Okay. So command abilities it is. This is interesting. You can use the command abilities of any hero in your army who has a command ability. You spend a command point to do so. And according to the article, it was a little vague, but you will get a command point every turn, and you get an additional one at the beginning of the game for every battalion that you have, whether that's my turn, your turn, round 1, my turn, your turn, round 2, my turn, so you get potentially 11 if you have a battalion.
No, I think they mean it.
It'll come down to wording, right? If it says your turn or the turn, if it's the turn, it'll be what Elric says once every time. They also changed, they gave 2 new generic abilities.
Yeah, they tweaked Inspiring Presence.
Yep. And they also changed when those command abilities get used.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
which is
huge.
Yeah, it's no longer just in that hero phase. It will be in whatever phase you're using it in.
Right. So Inspiring Presence now can be used from any hero that's within 6 inches of the unit you want to target, or 12 inches if it's the general. It's in the battle shock phase. You target a unit, they don't make a battle shock test.
Which actually just takes Inspiring Presence and skyrockets it, because now it's a completely viable tactic that you don't have to commit to at the beginning of the turn.
I think it was still viable before because so now it's for that one phase. You use the command point for that one phase. It used to be that you pick a unit, they're immune to battle shock tests until the beginning of your next hero phase. Right. So if I go first round 1 and target a unit with Inspiring Presence, that means that I haven't, and you win the double turn. That's 3 phases of the game. 3
phases that
they're not making battle shock tests.
Yep.
So it nerfs it that way, but it makes it more tactically flexible.
Well, yeah, that's it. I think the nerf comes into play when you look at some of those armies that have the ability to force a battle shock test in the combat phase or in other phases. Now you don't get to use Inspiring Presence all the time against it, because you were basically saying if that unit had Inspiring Presence, their ability was worthless.
Yeah. Also, it gives you some more flexibility with other heroes because any hero can do it. So like a necromancer next to a bunch of skeletons, you can be like, oh crap, I did take it on the chin a bit.
Yeah.
Boom, I'll just make them immune. Or
that 5-man unit of brutes who lost 2 is now going to evaporate, now doesn't have to.
Right, because a war chanter's right next to him. So it's definitely flexible. The other one is allows you to, if you're going to run, you can do it in the movement phase, and it's just an automatic 6.
Yep.
And again, it's 6 inches of any hero, 12 inches of the general.
Yep.
And the last one is you get to reroll a charge, 6 inches of any hero, 12 inches of your general in the charge phase. So
those are all huge.
I can think of some armies that will definitely benefit. I mean, we might see, it would be great to see a spike in Brayherd.
Or Beastclaw Raiders might actually now.
Yeah, nobody cares about them.
Shut
but
up.
Brayherd.
It could be useful for Beastclaw Raiders for Yetis. Might get a boost to that because they don't actually have to charge to pile in, right?
Right.
So you run them close, and they get that bonus to come close. Same with Sisters of Slaughter. There's a lot of units in there where there'll be that viability to throw it in there. I think that the biggest change for these generic ones is you don't have to give up your big, bad command ability to do it. You know, whereas even with Inspiring Presence, you had to make that choice.
You're right.
What's more important with Ironjaws, for example, calling the Wa, or making sure that they don't run away once they get beat. So now you can have your cake and eat it as well.
You were just saying that the only way you can pile in is if you make a successful charge. Because the only way you can be within 3 inches of of an enemy model is if you made a charge move.
Unless you have a 6-inch.
No, you still have to be within 3 inches.
No, Sisters of Slaughter can be 3.1 inches away, and then...
But you're not in combat. You have to be within 3 inches to be considered in combat. You have to be within combat to pile in.
No. It's incorrect information, Elric. Look at the War Scroll.
I don't care about the War Scroll.
The War Scroll tells you
but
how
I care about what it says to be in combat. What the pile-in rules say.
Sisters of Slaughter can be chosen to pile in an attack in the combat phase if they're within 6 inches of an enemy. You can move up to 6 inches when they pile in. That's on their War Scroll, so you may want to care what it says on their War Scroll.
Seeing as that is more important.
And Yetis have the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I think Brayherd also got a boost.
Sure.
Because everything in that army can run in charge.
Yep.
So you can either automatically make it a 6-inch run, or you can re-roll the charge. I think it gives them a little more flexibility.
Well, and it just the fact that you pick these abilities as you need them, not at the beginning of the turn hoping the situation arises.
Yeah.
Or trying to plan everything and then all of a sudden something goes wrong. You make the 2-inch charge and you're like, well, that just blew my whole turn.
Right.
So
you've also got a toolbox, right? So your general dies. Normally you'd be like, oh, there goes my ability.
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, who have I got in backup?
Second in command, take over, and I get to use your command ability now. Yeah. And, like I was telling you before, some of the Seraphon stuff, yes, you have to take a slan, and they almost kind of have to be your warlord in order to make certain things work well. Of course, it'd be better if you had 2. But, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that. You also, there's a lot of times where you'd like to get the Carnosaur, the old one on Carnosaur. He's got a pretty nice command ability, too, that's situational. So the ability to use that when you need it is pretty hot. And it's going to make I think it's going to make a lot of army builds change. There's a lot of command abilities out there that aren't looked at. Like they said in the article, there's a lot that aren't used because they're not the number one choice.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot more of those smaller characters come out that you maybe didn't see before, who you were like, oh, there's no point in taking this guy because his command ability is never going to come into effect.
Yeah.
You're paying points normally for that command ability in there. So sometimes their effectiveness wasn't that great based on their points, just because of the fact that you're paying for the command ability and it never got used.
Right.
I also think that it might make some named characters more viable.
Yeah.
Looking at it from like the perspective of a death player, now I can take like a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon and Manfred and use both those command abilities and just really tool something up. Sylvaneth players can take a Lariel and a Tree Lord Ancient, pop both those command abilities, and all of a sudden
you're a
your
thing.
stuff is for real.
And you can make that generic hero your general, so you can get a command trait, an artifact, throw that on them, and then Alariel still running around doing her thing
Beast
and getting to do her command ability, where you didn't have that option before.
Right.
That's cool. I mean, it will be very interesting to see what this does for some of the older armies.
I think this is going to be one of those deals where I think everything gets better because of this. I don't think anybody vaults over the top of anybody else because of it, but I think everybody gets more options.
Certainly spices up the meta.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see changes.
I think is what you want from a new edition.
Sure.
Definitely. So that's really the only 2 bits of rules, right, that we've gotten.
That we've
so the
seen
rest of
so
it has
far.
been
faction focuses.
No, the first one was Everchosen.
And Slaves to Darkness combined.
Right.
And so to explain what these faction focuses are, they're not just, hey, what's new? They're a breakdown on where are they at in the realms, a little bit of background, not much, and then they go to the players that have been playing them, that Games Workshop know and speak to.
Yeah.
They give a little rundown, and then they've been going into, well, what changes?
Yeah, they give you a little bit of
a teaser for each
Mm-hmm.
one.
So the point costs for not only Archeon are dropping, but also Varangard, which is awesome because those are fantastic models that you never see.
Yeah, they're just 2.
So, the problem is they don't get to pick their mark until after they're deployed. So they don't fit into any army other than an Everchosen army or generic chaos.
Yep.
You can't take them. I mean, you can take them in a Blades of Khorne or Disciples of Tzeentch, but you can only take 3
they
of
don't
them
get any of
at
the good.
300 points as your allies, which is dumb.
They're not good.
So, it's just that rule. Because, I mean, it's a unit of 3 Chaos Lords
And
that will rip things apart when they charge, but it's squeezing them into an army with the synergies. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how low they go, to see if you can get more in that situation. I know that someone on the Facebook page did ask, hey, will they get a mark right at the start? And Games Workshop were very vague about it, which they've been in a lot of their articles, and honestly. But they pointed out the Vanguard don't come and fight for anybody. They only come and fight when Archeon's
around.
So I think that rule's probably going to stay, but maybe they drop to 200 points. It'd be a huge drop, but you would get 2 of them in the allies. Maybe they change the allies. Who knows?
Right.
Let's not speculate.
But
yeah, they're coming down in points cost, which is great, as well as the War Shrine is also going to get a points cost reduction.
You don't really see a lot of those either. Archeon's really the only one out of all those you see. And I think he's kind of just more for fun lists.
Yeah, and he's super situational. You have to design.
Even in the Tzeentch list.
Well, he can be super bad in that Tzeentch list because,
depending on what you roll for your fate dice and what your targets are. And, I mean, do you really want to, blow that wad on trying to kill, I don't know, Lord Celestant on foot? It's kind of, I don't know.
I mean, Archeon's that guy. He can kill on any given turn. He can kill anything.
Not really.
Unless
he's only got rend 1 attacks.
That's
so if
true.
he goes up against something
At the
really
moment.
tough. At the moment.
Probably still stay that. He also can kill anything on a
but the
on a
effect
6.
of that
double
2
sixes.
6s.
Yeah.
Or double 5s, or
potentially double.
whatever. He's super powerful, but coming down in points just frees up a lot of stuff in the list.
Exactly.
Same thing with dropping a gash.
There was
It needed to happen in order to make him viable.
Yeah.
There was something going around that Archeon, 3 units of Varangard, the Gaunt Summoner, and that battalion that allows you to see it's 50-50 who gets the next turn.
Right.
Was going to be coming in at 1,600 points. rather
just
than
enough for allies.
1930. So that's a big drop.
That's a
on
huge
there.
drop.
So where do those points come from?
I hope it's not the Gaunt
Who knows?
Summoner.
He's going to be like 100 points.
Yeah. Well, that version of the Gaunt Summoner is not very good. It's
No,
the
That's
other
true.
one that
Yeah, you're right. See,
But you
dirty.
just need to take a Gaunt Summoner. Doesn't have to be that guy on that list. But anyway, we'll see what those come through. The next day was your beloved Oryx.
Yeah, the Iron Jaws. So
who cares about them?
the only thing we really got about Iron Jaws was a point reduction for Gordrak and the Mega Boss on Maw-Krusha, as well as Ardboys.
Well, it makes sense because the price of cabbage has gone down.
So, I'm really happy about that. I still think the Maw-Krusha is a bit too expensive. Not too much. I definitely think Gordrak is way overcosted because the new command traits, and artifacts makes a regular Mega Boss on Maw-Krusha, in my opinion, better than
Yeah.
Gordrak. So to see him come down significantly in points would be awesome. Also, potentially being able to use his command ability as well as a regular a Mega Boss's command ability at the same time, and really boosting everybody's number of attacks would be pretty intense. But I don't want to geek out
Can't
too much
speculate
about.
yet,
Yeah. Who knows? And then the idea that Ardboys are coming down. I've always been hard on Ardboys. I've never really been on board that train, and I think I'm an idiot for not doing it. I think there's definitely a spot for him in the list.
So I've been saying that all along, and now he finally agrees.
Yeah, you guys are such pioneers in the ways of the green skin. But no, a lot of other successful or more successful Iron Jaws players have definitely used him to great effect. So, to see him come down in points, I'm sure these guys are definitely going to be excited for it.
Yeah, I think anything that gets the more models on the table for Iron Jaws definitely will help, because I think that's one of their weaknesses is they're fairly elite. So
yeah, but they don't have really the rules to. They have the point cost of an elite army, but not necessarily the points or the rules to show it's all that elite, especially compared to stuff that's coming out now. I think low key some of this other stuff will really help them. Like we were talking about the battle shock change, being able to put a war chanter right next to him or something, and being like, oh crap, I bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah,
stay. Those guys can stay for this fight or just whatever. A lot of that stuff can help get you more mileage out of that army. So. After that was Fire Slayers?
it was. We did have one of the endless spells that'll get
that's
shown up
right.
from
That's
the magic
right.
supplement.
Yeah.
The big fireball of teeth gnashing.
Yeah.
Or ravaging hunger, as it's actually called.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We don't know how it moves. We don't know how it does anything. But what it does do is once it's stopped moving, so I'm going to assume it can, every unit within 1 inch of it suffers D3 mortal wounds.
And anything it moved over, too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Takes a mortal wound, I believe.
D3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm confusing that with the Stormcast spellcaster that got announced.
And then, in addition, they subtract 1 from bravery checks.
Yeah.
Or the bravery characteristic,
Ooh,
actually. So
okay.
That's key on there until the end of the battle round. So if you get that out early, these spells I think are going to be a big part of the game.
Yeah.
It does say it's a magic expansion, so whether or not TOs and people want to use it.
Well, I think when they announced it, they said this is for matched play, but because it's a separate thing, it's not. You can choose to use it or not.
Well, and I think that's a good idea because these things seem like they're going to be pretty darn powerful across the board.
Yeah.
So having them just shoved in as standard might.
Well, there's also some speculation that maybe the Balewind is going away.
I hope
because the Stormcast spellcaster that got announced has a gigantic bubble spell that just hits everything on the table, and if you throw her on a Balewind, it's like literally every enemy unit on the table takes mortal wounds, which would just be stupidly powerful. But who knows? I mean, there's
maybe just make the Balewind 10 plus to cast, right, or whatever,
or just take it out of the damn game. Please.
If they're going to add in endless spells, which they might have a point cost. Yeah, and you might have to have a mage who who can cast it, but then once they're on, they're a point cost to bring them on, like a reinforcement points. Who knows? But I think something that powerful that's bouncing around. It seems very much like Stormy Magic coming in.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a little bit toned down from that so that people
Yeah.
actually use it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have like units running around with a 2-up invulnerable save.
Healing. Yeah.
Yeah,
End
good
time
times.
stuff. Yay.
Well, that was before the end times. So, yeah, Fire Slayers was the next faction focus. I don't know if anything really got announced for them.
They mostly went into the fact that their heroes are going to be key still.
Yeah.
But you get to use them a little bit more. And you're going to want them up in front.
Yeah.
Oh, they delved into new artifacts.
Yep.
Apparently, the new GHB is going to have a butt ton of artifacts that are just available for everybody.
Yeah, thematic additions to the narrative of your army. So a vast selection of choice for those who love character and customization.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
And that's... I'm sorry, go ahead.
they did do 2 of them.
Yeah.
On here. The Blood Vials, which was pick an enemy unit within 8 inches of the bearer, roll a dice on a 4+ to get more wind.
Yep.
And then the Essence of Volcatraxix.
Volcatrix.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Once per battle, at the start of your hero phase, you can drink it. If you do so, roll a dice on a roll of 1, you get D3 more wounds. On a 2+, you add 1 to hit and wound rolls for the bearer until your next hero phase.
Basically, battle brew for Fire Slayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Which is potentially frightening on a Berserker. The Grimwrath Berserker.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how many additional artifacts and all this stuff they roll out. It almost feels like more and more they're going back to kind of like the old Warhammer Fantasy battles in how you could customize your heroes and give them more flavor and stuff like that, which I really like.
That's something that's been needed for a long time.
Because
these guys seem so cookie cutter.
Well, the problem is you always get that one thing. You always get like the staunch defender. And it's like, oh, there's 5 other choices?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Never would have thought about that. So...
That potentially just stays in the game, even if you add a bunch of them, though. But
yeah,
I think if handled well, they're all fairly similar in level. I think it'll be really good for when you're playing a narrative game.
Definitely.
When you're going through a campaign or something like that, you've got then a host of items that your character can pick up or find. In match play, it's going to be the same as always, right? You're going to have 15.
Most efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
it's going to boil down. So
yeah, unless you're making that characterful army. And then you might take a slightly subpar choice. But if they make them all fairly level, then it could be good.
Which hopefully they will. I have faith that they will. They're pretty good about doing that stuff now. So let's see. So yeah, there wasn't any mention of like points adjustments for Fire Slayers or anything like that. I know a lot of people have been speculating about them going up in points, but I don't know. I hope they don't. I think the new armies coming out are pretty tough. I'd net Deepkinner are for real. So I think if you go back and hamstring armies like Fire Slayers, I think your better bet is to just make some of the other armies that struggle better.
Yeah.
Rather than toning down in some of those other armies.
It does appear that they're going to be changing War Scrolls as well.
Yeah.
So they have hinted at on most of these faction focuses that they're going to come in and make tweaks here and there. Archaon's command ability, for example, to do other command abilities is going to stay mostly the same, but with a little bit of rewording. So
yeah.
Well, and it'll probably just work into the point motif that they're using, the command point instead of...
Yeah, he might just generate more command points.
Yeah, he might just on a particular...
Oh, that'd be cool. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I thought we'd just spend 1 command point to do his command ability and then allow everybody to do it.
Yeah.
But that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, because they do that in 40K. Like certain special characters just give you stratagem points or whatever.
Because they're that cool.
Yeah. So after Fire Slayers was...
Slaanesh.
Today's.
Yeah, today's. The Slaanesh, which I have not read.
Hosts of Slaanesh.
It looks very cool.
Some cool things coming out of it.
And Ming Lee does the write-up on him. So.
Who's that?
It's some guy.
Oh, cool.
He's a Neo.
Who are those?
You know, narrative
Oh, my
Nancy's.
God. All right, that's enough airtime on that crap.
You better back off, pal, because next show's all about coalescence.
What's that?
I will kill him.
Yeah.
I will.
Keep pushing that button. So lay it on us there, Mr. Taylor. I thought, isn't that what you're reading?
Slaaneshi
I was,
goodness.
but it doesn't make any sense in my head. So, they're keeping their invaders rule.
Okay.
You know how they've got their 3 battle traits, but they're getting tweaked so that they work with the new rules. So rather than just 3 people being able to use their command ability, if outside 12 of each other, they're now going to be treated as the general for that. So there has to be something to do with being the general and doing your command ability, or else they wouldn't have written it that way. And then they've got new summoning, which is interesting. So they can actually generate and bring anything from, as they've put it, demonettes to a keeper of secrets onto the tabletop without spending reinforcement points.
Oh, that's huge.
So the new mechanic's called depravity points.
Okay.
And the way that you generate them is...
Wearing a gimp suit.
Yeah.
Probably why they asked Ming to write an article.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
Eat a bunch of donuts at your table. Just go to excess at the table. Yeah.
All right.
Gimp suits and donuts.
Oh.
Yeah. Double points
Pulling donuts out of your gimp suit
to share with your opponent.
to share with your opponent.
What about the leggings?
If they don't
Can you
take
use the
it,
leggings?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, my God.
oh, that should be a real...
I'll be racking up depravity points if I put those on. Jesus.
So yeah, how they actually do it is you score 1 depravity point for every wound your heroes inflict on a foe without killing them, or every non-fatal wound they receive in return. So, i.e. whipping people in their gimp suit and not dying. Keeping them alive, just keeping them on the edge.
Just a little bit, just the tip.
Just the tip, every time. Just
How did I know this section was going to go over them?
Oh, Slaanesh.
You kidder.
and then a little teaser that they had was they're not the only faction to be receiving summoning changes.
Uh-oh.
Well,
So-
the death player in me is squealing.
Well, I think they already got their change in Legions in a Gash, right?
So who else would get changed?
Seraphon.
You've got Seraphon, you've got Zinch, Korn with their Blood Tithe table.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which-
they'll get a change.
Yeah, but they work just like Nurgle. So would Nurgle get changed? Is it just going to be the Chaos? Because Chaos
Maybe.
is hurting so bad for love.
They are. They really are.
Well,
They've
Chaos
not had a
can
release
barely
in what?
function.
Yeah, right.
It's all Stormcast all the time.
Yeah, that's what I want to know is how are Stormcast going to be able to summon units
Well, that's
with their
easy.
new wizards?
Lightning
Well,
bolt.
yeah,
Boom, more
they can
liberators.
summon skinks.
Yeah.
That's sort of good.
Yeah, they.
It's my favorite army in the world.
Who else summons?
That's pretty much it. That doesn't have... So there's like formations and stuff. Ironjaws have a formation that brings units back, but you have to pay... it brings Ard Boys back. That have already been wiped out, but you still have to pay the reinforcement points to bring them on, which is
And
really
it's on a
stupid.
6. Oh no, that's the Bone Splitters.
Yeah, yeah.
They have it as well.
That's really interesting because when Death and Nurgle got redone and they changed the way you can't summon anything with Death anymore. It always has to be an existing unit and you have to pay points for it. And then Nurgle has to get the point, the contagion points to summon stuff, but you also have to pay reinforcement.
Have to pay the real points.
So the only army that still had summoning that was free to just kind of do whatever they wanted with it was Zinch. Right.
And Seraphon.
And Seraphon, but they're literally unplayable.
Thank you.
Unless you're playing against Andrew.
Well-
and then they're the best thing ever.
Yeah, sweet.
Or if you have a double slant.
So, and I thought, well, that kind of sucks that Zinch, that they still have the flexibility. Be like, oh, well, I need a unit of horrors there, or I need a hero there, or whatever. So I just have the points to do whatever I want. And nobody else had that anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to go back to armies that summon and change that, especially if you're not going to have reinforcement points to do it. That could be
huge, and that could be really unbalancing.
Could be.
It could be, but I think if you look at Nurgle, if you were to take that and say, okay, it doesn't cost any reinforcement points, getting to the level that you need to get to bring something useful on is actually pretty difficult.
In Nurgle?
At times.
No, it's super simple. You can rack up contagion points. I mean, it's...
But, okay, so, yeah, because there's lists that can crank out contagion points like crazy.
And you're casting spells for it. And
right, but what are you giving up to do that? Like, are you making your army a little more susceptible to, like, an alpha strike to be taken? Because you're taking, like, Slymix and a bunch of
The big chunk of contagion points are just based on where I am and where you are. If I'm on your side... I'm getting extra contagion points. If I have you near one of my feculent or you're not near one of my feculent Gnarlmaws, I get points. So it's not hard, and it's pretty much up to me.
Kinda, right? You've just listed 2 ways that I can stop you getting contagion points. I can get close to your Gnarlmaw and risk taking mortal wounds.
Yeah, okay.
I can try and pen you in your territory, which is half the board.
Sure.
Right, but I would rather a throwaway unit take a mortal wound on the chin than you throwing out a great unclean one every turn.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you're not going to do that, but if I give up my 10 plague bearer unit, my 10-man plague bearers, to be on your side of the board and grab my contagion points, okay, so great, you kill them, I bring them right back. You know?
Then what have you really accomplished?
Nothing other than making you go over that way and waste your time and your shots and your combats.
Maybe.
At a place where I didn't want you to be.
I think it could work. I think it could. I think death... You know, they have the reliability to bring them up.
Right.
Because you can place those graveyards anywhere that you want and then get within 9 of them and pop them up.
Yeah, but they're already units in your army that you've written down. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, the flexibility isn't there for death the way it used to be. Mm-hmm. You know.
But if they're taking that away from everybody, that's fine. I don't...
Well, we said we weren't going to speculate.
That's true.
And now we're wildly
speculating. And now we are wildly.
But it's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
Kind of hard not to
talk about this and how
the just after this
vortex
last
is going to be taken out of
discussion. I'm rage quitting.
Yep.
So I'm going to go buy 2 of them. Just I had them before they were cool.
Who?
The Balewind Vortex.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 of them. Yeah.
I had them when the Mage Wrath Throne came on Tower of Skulls for no apparent reason.
Sweet. Oh, and then we'll talk about the Stormcast and Night Haunts as well.
Yeah.
So the new Stormcast chamber opened up. Yeah, cool, whatever.
The Sacrosanct.
They gave them wizards and artillery because
that's been a hole in there.
I like it how they also combined them in this one chamber so they could release them at the same time.
Yeah.
Even though they're like the Ruination chamber, you're like, oh, that sounds a lot like artillery, and they're like, no,
that's going to be something else.
No, it's wizards.
Different. Yeah, you know they look like Stormcast.
Yeah, with spells.
So, badass models. I mean, everything they do for that line is fantastic. I know I get a lot of crap for not, like, I don't know, squealing every time Stormcast get mentioned, but...
I think it's really cool that they're finally getting that little last phase of the game that they get to play in. So,
I can't tell if you're being serious.
I am. I really am, because I don't like any force. You know, like, I played Necrons in 40K.
Okay.
We don't have a psychic phase. I don't even play in that phase of the game. I just ignore that it happened.
Yeah, because you shoot the piss off of everybody.
Yeah, but it's still not. It's a phase of the game that I don't get to participate in.
I know.
And right now, you know, Stormcast
you and Tau players can sit there and have a cry circle.
It's a pity party, and I enjoy it. But really, Stormcast. I mean, look at those. Look at their faces, and it's the hero phase, and they go, "Oh, here's my. Let's move on."
Yeah, it's the hero phase. Oh, I only get to make my entire army immune to battle shock and give them cover saves, and
but once you've done that for the 10th
lanterns
time,
to teleport around the table, and
damn,
I didn't get to do anything.
And then moved my one guy with all of his shooting.
This army's barely playable.
It's true.
It's hard to run a demo with the poster boys if they don't take part in every.
That's right.
Every phase.
So now
they're going to be able to show off every phase
They can gleefully
properly.
do all that other stuff and blast you in the face with a whole bunch of arcane
right.
bolts.
Well, I think that's why we're going to see that new starter, right? Is Night Haunt versus a Stormcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both of them participate in every phase of the game.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
except Night Haunt don't have any shooting.
That's not a problem.
Oh, because our armies have to have a weakness, right? Oh, I'm sure that's probably one of the spells they'll have for the Stormcast.
What, Balewind Vortex?
No, Sigmar's ethereal goodness. All your models ignore. But it won't be worded like Ethereal. It'll just say ignore Rend, but you can still cast Mystic Shield and Staunch Defender on them. So it'll just be a 1-up ignoring Rend.
With Staunch Defender.
Yeah. Like, oh, sorry, we over-nerfed Vanguard Wing, so let's bring that back.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
Sorry, Stormcast players, we apologize. I'm sorry, well, I blacked out there for a second.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And there are a ton of female models, too.
I know.
Which is awesome.
I think they're mostly female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty much
so that's where they're
Without-
keeping all the girls.
Yeah.
So it's not co-ed.
With their
in
aprons
Sigmar.
on.
Yeah.
With their aprons and rolling pins.
Yeah, so we can
Well, it's the
shoot
way
you
so
for
that-
mortal wounds while we bake cookies. Huh?
Yeah, it's so that they don't need to scalp boob armor and
Oh,
get the
that's
ire
true.
of the internet. They're like, just put an apron on them because that won't do it.
right. Because, the internet is totally reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
I do have to say that the artillery piece feels a little phoned in. It still looks cool, right?
Yeah,
but
very
it
cool.
just looks like a combination of the high elf and dark elf bolt throwers into one. I think they could have done a little more there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
It's
It still looks cool. I'm not crapping on it.
It's a very cool looking thing, but you're right. The aesthetic is kind of like, it didn't wow me.
More
as,
of the same, maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what the whole chamber feels like. It's just more of the same. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, there he goes, crapping on Stormcast. But I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it's just like, oh, here's more 10s. Mm-hmm. Like, you just continue to make fantastic models.
Oh, yeah.
So none of it. There's no Celestant Prime or Stardrake in this release. No model that's really like whole.
just-
Yeah,
the
they
same.
look cool. But I mean, they're not,
they're not
like,
big model. You're right.
But
Yeah,
and that dragon or that beast looks. He reminds me of a dog I had in Germany. I swear, his face is so much like
That's
wow.
what Griff's should have been. These
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
critters running around.
Yeah.
All
But they
right.
do look super cool.
Enough of this crap. Oh, and they did
The Night Haunts.
They did one last thing. They did actually show the War Scroll for the Wizard.
Yes.
Which is cool because it shows what the new War Scroll format's going to look
Yes.
like and whatnot.
And
so.
the larger type. Oh
Yes.
my God, I hope they carry
Yeah.
that across everything.
So yeah, Night Haunts. Whole new battle tome. Actual battle tome for Night
Battle
Haunts.
tome.
Ton of new models. Holy
Yeah.
cow, man. They really ramped it up for
And
for
2 new
those guys.
paints, too.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like it's going to be an entire army that ignores Rend, which is pretty beastly.
Well, and when you think about it, they should. They're not there. Why do they care?
Now they've got, 3 units and 4 characters
Yeah.
right now? Or is it the other way about, 4 units and 3 characters?
They have Spirit Hosts, Hex Wraiths.
Black Coach,
Yeah.
so 3.
Yeah.
Banshee, Wraith. I was choosing that ship thing. Or not the ship thing, the Mortis engine.
Mortis
which
engine.
has shown up in the pictures, so hopefully...
But that's not a Night Haunt. It's a Malignant, but it's not a Night Haunt, which is dumb.
Well, but it showed up in the videos.
Okay. Well, yeah,
for
but
this
they've
release.
also had pictures of like Neferata and
Yeah.
Nagash and stuff with them too.
There's
So it's
other-
kind of
Well,
like,
the-
well, how well is this going to tie in with Death?
Yeah.
Or well, Legions and Nagash. I should
Legion.
say.
Well, they have the a new Mortarch mentioned.
Yeah,
The Mortarch of Grief. I think the biggest thing I'm excited for them, not outstanding the Black Coach, which just looks stunning.
Yeah.
Their new aesthetic on the horses, is they're giving them infantry unit. Small
Yeah.
based, running around the chain rasp hordes, as it's called, which is going to be super cool to
Right.
but give them something that's not just a big base round
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah, they've got like the whole spread going. But they got like infantry, and then they've got like elite stuff.
Yeah, they'll be viable.
Yeah. definitely.
They've got that big monster style thing with the Spirit Torment, who
Yeah.
really hates Stormcast. He's basically you incarnate in the game.
He's you.
I don't hate Stormcast.
He's you, but dead.
Far more a
we've moved
Stormcast
on.
fan than Zinch, that's for sure.
Sure. They're also releasing a new Knight of Shrouds. So you got
Oh,
him
a mounted
upgrade.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's,
gets on a horse.
I can't
That
wait
is
to see
cool.
that one.
That is
Which,
cool.
Gosh.
yeah,
That's
a guy
gonna
with
be
no legs
so-
on a horse. Hopefully he has a reel that he just passes through his horse occasionally because he can't grip onto it.
yeah.
I don't think that made it in. No, if I'd been in last week's episode,
That would have been.
then they would have taken it up and written it.
Yeah, that's
But,
true. If
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
If only.
I should have come back from
I
Scotland
think
early.
they're just going to be super fast. Super fast and resilient to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. If it's all running around with a 4-up save that can't be modified in any way, half your opponent's damage, statistically, just thrown right out the window.
Yep.
Half of everything that gets through. And then if they have a 6-up death save on top of that,
That
that's
And they also get a wizard now, which
Yeah.
they've never had access to
Yeah.
before.
That's
But
big.
there is sort of a dichotomy there. So if everything I slice them with goes right through, what are they slicing me with? And if you tell me it's a real sword, how do they hold on to it?
Well,
So it's magic?
Oh, okay.
no, that's what they're blocking with. Their sword, which, you hit them, they block with their sword, they don't get hurt.
Oh.
It's when you miss their sword and hit them, they're like, oh,
Oh, you got me.
you got me.
My ghost is everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like it. I think it's a really cool.
It's nice to see Death get something. I know they got Legions in a gash, but
That was basically just taking everything they had.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was just
And
making
updated
everything
it.
else
Yeah.
updated.
exactly,
But,
basically a Grand Alliance.
Right,
It doesn't
yeah.
include some of the things in your Grand Alliance.
but now they're
But,
getting
yeah.
cool stuff.
It will also be cool to see what the GHB 2.0, whatever they're going to call this, does for Flesh Eater Court.
They did state that that's where the points changes will come into play.
Yeah.
The
So
GHB.
hopefully they get released on the same day.
Yeah, I hope so. If we get AOS 2.0 and then have to wait like another 3 months
Yeah.
for point adjustments, I'm going to be pissed.
Even a month. I
Yeah.
think that's where...
It's too
'cause,
long.
We've got that event coming up on July.
July.
If you're making your list, and this
Checking
coming
it
out
twice.
2 weeks before, potentially is going to put a wrench in the works there. If you're playing the new edition with the old points, it's potentially just going to cause...
Yeah.
You're not going to be playing the game, as I think it's meant to be played.
Right.
At that point, there's a reason they're changing points. If they're changing war scrolls, then you would expect their points to have to change.
I have to imagine they're going to wrap it all together and just say, here's the package.
I hope so.
With,
they
you know,
come
and
separately.
it makes sense to have the General's Handbook separate. That way the points are all in there. That can be updated as needed, but your new AOS 2.0 rule book will sit on its own for the next couple of years
Yeah.
or however long.
I'll buy 2 books.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's
Well,
exactly,
I
especially
don't
when the
even know if-
handbook is what, 25?
Yeah.
I don't even know if the new edition book needs to be a book. It can literally be 4 pages again.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
It depends what they put into it and how they do that. Maybe those 4 pages will expand to 6. But you
No.
can literally just put, here's the new General's Handbook, and here's the,
Here's a 4-page rule insert.
yeah.
Maybe they'll get rid of the victory conditions and use that for, I don't know, rules? Since we never use those victory conditions.
That sudden death table. I want them to keep that.
The triumph table? Get
The
rid of that.
Yeah, the triumph table, the sudden death conditions is, it's just,
Just that,
I see it all the
page.
time, and it really swings my battles
Yeah.
every time.
Keep
I
the
know that-
Triumph table. So I could literally scrap half of the 4-page rule set because
Yeah.
you just don't use it anymore.
They could
Well,
literally put it into the
there's-
open and narrative play rules in the GHB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can get rid of
You can get rid of
glorious victory all the way here. So there's 2 columns.
I like how we're just on the fly edit in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they already took everything we said last week and made it rules, so we might as well keep, helping them out here.
So here's my new arcane bolt.
Yeah, really.
It's just a straight up 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've only done it in the Battle Shock phase.
There you go. There you go.
Command ability. There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, you could take out, you could replace stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you could still probably keep it at 4. And a lot of the stuff that we use and we work with is all match play.
Right.
So
yeah, you could replace all that with all the updated rules of 1. Boom. That's a whole page.
yeah,
Well,
but they're not. in
let's
the core
just
rules.
hope that they actually increase and don't keep to some arbitrary, only 4 pages of rules. You know what? Hey, let's get 8 pages of rules, but make them work. Actually
Well, it
put
works
enough
now.
verbiage
It's just-
into it. Well, there was a lot of stuff in here that was poorly worded at best.
They want to keep this simple though. That's the
Yeah.
thing is what we
That's
need
what
to.
they say is just Sigmar work.
Is
Yeah.
6 pages
I think what
that
we might see.
bad?
Well,
I can't even get Chad to read 4.
Okay, so without the Chads of the
we
world.
we can't even read a war scroll, and that's 1 page.
Well, that's a good point, yeah, because some of us didn't know about 6-inch, points, but hey.
I think most of what we look at is going to be in the match play rules. So I think we might see especially if they're adding all these new artifacts, maybe new command traits, we're going to see a bigger General's Handbook for this. So more pages for this one,
Yeah.
I think. Because we've got a lot of stuff to go in
Yeah.
and new scenarios. Looking forward to that. 6 new ones.
Ooh,
Yeah, and they've got
18 scenarios we could pull from match play.
Yeah, I think with the new edition we should let some of them die, but there's some... Yeah, I mean, the ones that came out in 2017's General's Handbook were basically twists on the original ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think some improved. Some. That one with the weird deployment, I've never seen that one played, except from that one time that...
You had to play it.
No, I've never seen it played in the wild. I saw it played on Warhammer TV when Ben Johnson did it with the weird stepped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Total Conquest.
I would not be heartbroken to see Scorched Earth go bye-bye.
Yeah, Scorched Earth could take it.
I think especially with the movement that we're getting in the game.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting a lot of movement coming in. When it was maybe written, we didn't have some of these armies out there. It made more sense.
Out of that corn one.
Murder Host.
Murder Host was very much a thing when that was written, so... No more speculating.
Yeah.
Speculation.
No, we're doing a lot of that.
The realm of speculation.
Yeah.
All right.
Which we wanted to avoid.
Hopefully, all of it comes out at once.
Mm-hmm.
Points, rules, everything.
The whole 9 yards.
And hopefully it's all good.
And we should see in the next week or so whether or not it's going to be released in the first couple of weeks of June.
Yeah, I would imagine next week is going to be a lot of Harlequin hype.
Yeah.
For 40K, but they could still sprinkle in some AOS stuff. I'd imagine they will.
They've had a bunch of 40K stuff this
I was
week.
going to say, they haven't had a dearth of it. I mean, they've been dual tracking a lot of this stuff now.
I'm just thinking we'll see White Dwarf start to hit. And normally what's been happening with that is if it's in the first couple of weeks, it's in there.
Yeah.
Apart from the last release for AOS, which was the Deepkin, which didn't really mention anything.
I know.
And then they're like, hey, there's new stuff coming out this
Check
week.
it out.
And you're like, cool.
Pachoing.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, Deepkin, finally done with.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
5 weeks. Yeah.
That was not ridiculous at all.
No. That was their little blurb on the thing. Everything's out.
Yeah.
So.
And the FAQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Harlequins are pre-order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elf Jesters.
I think we rambled on quite a bit. Was there anything else we wanted to touch on?
To cover? No. Not that I can think of. I think we've fact-checked each other enough.
All right.
Cool.
Let's head over to the GW store, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Next,
so that Brian can...
I want
buy
to see
his
what he
paint.
buys, yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we get together, we will do Coalescence. All about Coalescence coming up. And probably more AOS 2.0.
Yeah,
So,
I imagine.
so imagine we'll learn
Recap
some more
a lot
about
of
that
that.
by then. Happy days.
And hopefully I'll have more than a skeleton painted.
If you would like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at our email address, which is rollingbadpodcast@gmail.com. We have a Twitter account for the podcast, and it is @rolling_bad. We also have a Facebook page, so just search Facebook for Rolling Bad. We have a Patreon page, and that is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. You can reach us at our individual Twitter accounts. Elric is at Elric Edge, and I am at Bill Costello, Castello. All of our guest hosts and any other products or places that we mentioned during the show will have their addresses listed in the show notes.
The realm of yes, Bill. Come on now. Sitting over here waiting on you.
I'm waiting for you to stop clapping on your keyboardy do.
You're just jealous because I finally have a keyboard.
Not jealous.
The realm of creation.
You ain't doing it.
The realm that Bill can't bring in right now. I don't know what's taking it so long over here.
Because you're such a jackwagon.
I know I am, but what are you? Oh, Bill. You got to be careful, though, how you spend those points. If you start throwing just glory points everywhere, you'll find yourself spiraling down a glory hole.
I knew that one.
That's all I can think about every time I hear glory points.
How did I know? Because you don't play that much Shadespire.
No, I don't.
I was expecting something deep and introspective, and we got glory holes.
God.
You must be up to like 20 glory points by now, right?
Yeah.
He's been up and back the glory hole.
Don't you worry about it.
Spending them.
Girlfriend. Oh, Bill.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or should that be where there's a bill, there's a way? Maybe.
If I can spend money on it, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bill.
because some, I don't know, false god, deity, prince, kingling person decided to get married today.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they are. I'm sorry, Mandy. I apologize for that. Prince Harry decided to marry some rich American woman so that he'd be comfortable for the rest of his life.
I thought she was
American.
She's American and Indian, I believe.
Why are we talking about? Nobody
It's
cares.
American princess.
Nobody. Oh my
It's
God.
your
Because we're going to talk
princess.
about Meghan
We
Markle
literally
a
fought
lot.
a war to get away from this horse shit.
You're just getting back in there.
We love our monarchy.
Oh my God. Oh, Bill.
No,
No.
Suck on that,
PS4.
Xbox. Yeah.
I'm
It's
so glad I'm a PS4
all
guy.
right. Oh, Bill.
and you would have got away with it as well.
Except for you damn millennials
Yep.
with your newfangled gadgets.
What was it?
Oh, Bill.
I know when I used to live in Mildenhall, the
Just made up.
ability to drive down to London,
What do you mean this is made up?
Where's Mildenhall?
it's the largest United States air base in
Oh.
England. It's pretty damn big.
Okay, I'm going to Google that. Okay.
He's going to fact check you. Live fact check on the show.
Okay. Look for RAF Mildenhall. Okay. So
That's
anyway.
where the new Stormcast chamber came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you doing in an RAF base? We'll talk about that offline. Yeah.
Anyhow,
Oh, Bill.
as we quickly devolve
Okay.
into
Well, you just fact checked his RAF.
RAF Mildenhall.
Well, he was just naming a random place. Turns out it is a place. What are you looking up so that we can look up different things? Because this makes really good.
So as you're looking up stuff, I will tell you the story of the first time I ever rode a mechanical bull was at RAF Mildenhall.
That makes sense.
See?
Oh, Bill.
But now I'd like to play a selection from one of our older playlists. This is a little song called Holy F***, why are we looking this stuff up? We're supposed to know this game.
Hey, I'd rather be accurate. I would rather be accurate than just throwing out bullshit. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I said it earlier.
Just splice that back in.
Oh, my God.
Let's it right together. Oh,
Gotta make
this
it-
is Ammo. That's who knew.
Even Bill
Ryan knew.
Very well.
So now it is a
Do you,
viable
do you want something special?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Why, are you going to give me a dance or?
No, I'm just waiting.
Okay.
It's okay.
Oh my God.
It's okay. It's sometimes people don't read War Scrolls or the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, back on
Anyway.
track.
So we can cut that piece.
This
Slow.
guy, this is why your name is this guy in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
God. All right, whatever. But yeah, I want to talk about how. Oh, Bill. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. It happens. All right. I'm the first to admit it. All right. Oh, Bill.
It's not going to take that long to tool up and have a little bit of store space shelving for, hey, that's my dog dying.
Good God.
Hey, I told her, you go near the bear trap, bad things are going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
It's a siren. She freaks out when she hears police or fire sirens. On that note,
This is why we don't do a live show. Oh, Bill.
so
Why don't they
this
just
wasn't
have
worth
old
it.
Elon Musk drill holes over there and do the bullet train under the ground thing for $1 a
It's an
ticket?
island.
Yeah.
It'd sink.
Yeah. The whole thing would just go bloop.
That's some Looney Tunes level shit right there.
Well, that one's staying in too. So much for any Europe.
You can't poke a hole in England because it'll sink. That's what the Nazis were trying to do. Sink
With
the
all those-
island.
All those U-boats came in.
Yeah.
They weren't patrolling the channel. No, they were trying to sink the island.
They were just trying to shoot at
pop
it until it sank.
Oh, my God.
Well, we just lost all of our Euro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's fine.
the remainder